Welcome to the Madison Chamber podcast. I'm Michelle Epling, president of the Madison Chamber, and we have a special guest today and a dear mentor and friend, Mary Lynne Wright with Madison Hospital, here with us today. And our topic today, as you can tell, we have all the hearts because we're talking about work-life balance. And I don't know if there really is such thing as true work-life balance. I think you can swing one way or the other depending on the day, week, or year. But we're here to get Mary Lynne's wisdom and advice as someone that leads one of the largest businesses in the city limits in Madison. Don't you, Mary Lynne? Want to introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about you and your hospital?
Sure. Thanks, Michelle. Mary Lynne Wright, Madison person. I lived here for 37 years now. Madison Hospital has been open for 13 and a half years now. Hard to believe. And then I've been part of the Huntsville Hospital system since 1977 for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You want to tell everyone how you started? Because I think you have such a wonderful story of really starting at the bedside, at the heart of why hospitals exist, and kind of tell how you kind of rose through the ranks through work.
Sure. And I am proud of the story. I started as a 19-year-old nurse, registered nurse at the bedside, went to Sanford to college right out of high school. Came here, started working, and along the way, I was going to leave and get married and move away, and then I decided not to do that.
We're very grateful you
didn't. Good. Thank you. And actually had already turned my notice in at work and called my wedding off, and I am still here. This is my 48th year at Huntsville Hospital. Wow. Yeah. So
you turned in your notice and called off your wedding? Did I hear that?
Well, turned my notice, called my wedding, yes. Turned my notice in because I was going to get married and move away. Called my wedding off 2 weeks before the wedding.
Okay.
And then called my nurse manager back and said, "Can I please come back to work?"
Oh, I didn't know that part of the story.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
To which she said, "Of course you can."
Yes.
And here I am 48 years later. Very, very fortunate beyond measure with Huntsville Hospital allowing me to grow and learn. Because to start off as a bedside nurse and then have lots of opportunities along the way to learn from some great mentors, male and female, and to see just about every aspect of the hospital in management, just different roles, and then to get the opportunity to build a hospital from the ground up.
Literally the ground up. I've seen the pictures from and I remember the groundbreaking. I've lived in Madison almost 20 years. I remember how excited we were. There was an emergency, and there has been emergencies that we've had to come see. Emergency.
Yeah. And to get to do that is just one of those opportunities. Not many people get to do it because there are not a lot of new hospitals built. And this wasn't a replacement hospital. It was a brand new hospital.
Yes.
So just lots, and I've just been very fortunate along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. How do you define work-life balance as... How many employees do you have? Let's start.
We have about 850 right now.
That's a lot of things happening in people's lives when you're over 850 people.
And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays, weekends,
snowstorms,
you name it. Tornadoes, it's all of it. And you don't get to go home.
Right.
You don't get to say, "Oh, I'm leaving early for the day because snow's coming." You got to stay there and take care of patients.
Yes.
And that's probably, for me, being a mom. I've been a working mom my entire career almost. That is difficult because you want to be able to tell people, go home, your child's at home. You can't do that because we have patients to take care of. And the way I try to set the example for that is I stay too. I've spent the night in my office on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I live very close to the hospital, I think I have to be there, and I have to show my employees that I think it's important, and I can't ask them to stay and do it if I'm not going to stay and do it.
Correct.
Yeah. But when you...
Do I need to buy you a cot for your next birthday?
Well, actually, I have one now.
You have one now? Okay, I'm just checking.
Yes.
Does anybody get you your next birthday present that drop off? Yeah, I need a cot or a blanket. I need to get you guys something.
But we're kind of covered now.
You're covered.
We've learned that, you got to be prepared.
Yeah.
So, you do that. But you ask about work-life balance. To me, I can't even define work-life balance because the organization that I work for, there's just never, you're never off. My phone is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have been out of the country and have gotten phone calls from doctors, from employees, from patients. That's what I think my responsibility is.
Yes.
And There are days that I want to go, don't call, but you just don't do that. You don't do that in this business. And sometimes that's a challenge. When my daughters were young, I really struggled with that. What can I miss? What am I going to miss? What am I not going to miss?
Right. What are your non-negotiables?
Yeah, and now my non-negotiables are travel. I'm going to travel. I'm going to travel with my daughters and my son-in-law and my husband, and I'm going to enjoy life because then when I come back, I can give it everything I've got.
Absolutely.
And that's what I have to do. I have to just say, okay, this is the trip I'm going on. The hospital will be okay because my phone works in Europe just like it works here or anywhere else. So it's just, we do what we have to do. But I do think working parents make a sacrifice.
Regardless of your level in a company.
Absolutely.
I think it's, absolutely. You never want to miss a field trip. You never want to miss the preschool parade. But, sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to. I know my kids are now in 3rd grade, and it's the first time I didn't make field day, and they just couldn't comprehend that this year. And I was like, honey, mommy went on the field trip last week. I can't make field day this year. And they just couldn't comprehend it. And I think it's one of those that you teach them, but what? Mommy does show up, is going to be at your class party tomorrow.
Right.
We will go out to dinner to celebrate your birthday next week. Like, I'm taking the day off for that. I think it's also kind of educating your kids that work sometimes does have to come first. And, and setting that example for them.
Well, I've talked to my daughters now that they're older. My girls are 30 and 32, both professionals, don't have grandchildren yet. And we've talked about that. Do you remember times that I wasn't there? And they've both said you were there for all the important things.
Yes.
And they enjoyed having me as a role model because I did work and raise 2 very successful young ladies.
Yes.
But it's hard, I never could be the room mom.
Right.
Because
I tried the first year at the chamber.
You can't.
And I did it this year. I don't know if I can do it again in 4th grade, but I have done it the last couple of years. But then you also have to make that commitment. If you're going to volunteer for that, you have to be willing to get up at 5:30.
Well, you do.
You've got to get the hour, your job as the president or the entrepreneur running that company, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a chamber, whether it's the business you're responsible for. You're going to the work has still got to get done. So whether you're doing it from 10 to 12 during the workday, or you're going to stay up till midnight and get it done the night before, you really kind of sometimes have to make that tough choice.
Well, you do. And I think you also have to surround yourself with really good people, strong people that will have your back and can step in and help you. My husband was the position he was in at the time, he could miss work to go do something.
And that's the way Adam is too.
So if mom's not there, dad is.
Dad and Gigi are always there.
Absolutely.
And they know that. And I think that's important that you do have, hopefully you can have that balance, that they are there. How do you model balance for your staff, especially in a high stress industry like healthcare? Are there some things that Mary Lynne does now that you wish you did 20 years ago?
That's a good one. There are probably times that I wish I had said, I will be back, but I am going to go do this. The hospital will be fine. My department will be fine, but I am going to go do this, and I'll be back in an hour. I had some people that I worked for that were great and understanding and said, go. And I had some that said, what do you mean you're not going to be here until 10 o'clock this morning or whatever? And I quickly learned who I wanted to work for and who I wanted to be like.
Yes.
And I think that's what has helped me as I've moved up the ranks. I get it. I've been there. I get it. I understand what you're going through.
They're going to work harder for you too, right? Like, let them go for an hour and not miss that class party. They're going to work harder for you.
And we do everything we can to make that available. If I can attend a meeting for Renee, who is my vice president of clinical operations, and she went through this about a year ago. Her daughter was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And we gave her every opportunity we could to go be with her.
Absolutely.
Go be with Sydney. Go do what you need to do. So now she's in a different place. Because Sydney's in college. And she has more time. And that's what, for me, along the years, that's what's happened. You just have to figure out, what are you not going to give up?
Right.
And then every stage is different. Every stage is a okay, I can do this year where I couldn't do it last year.
Right.
But, and you have to also forgive yourself. Most moms don't do that well. Most moms do not.
Did you hear that? Most moms don't forgive themselves. And so, did you hear that? Most moms, working moms, it is hard to forgive yourself and not feel the guilt.
Well, you feel guilty if you're not at work. You feel guilty if you're not at the school play or the party or the whatever.
It happened to me yesterday. I had an appointment. My husband said, Michelle, you probably need to take the kids. You're going to ask the right questions for the doctor. It was supposed to take an hour. I even confirmed to make sure it was going to take an hour. It took 2.5 hours. And I came rolling in feeling so guilty that, but keep in mind, like, I also worked over the weekend. Like, it's hard to not feel that guilt. And I remember I dropped the kids off at my mom's, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I just feel so guilty. And like, I think that's so normal. And we don't talk about that enough.
Because you're worried about, am I failing my children? Am I failing my husband? Am I failing my job?
Yes.
Am I failing my employees? What example am I setting for my employees?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So you have to just know that it's okay. It is okay to miss work occasionally. It is okay to take some time for yourself, because every once in a while, if you don't take time for yourself, and it doesn't matter to me if it's working in your backyard, if it's whatever you enjoy doing to get your head calm, you're going to be a better person for doing that.
Or you're going to get sick.
You are.
And you're
mentally and physically.
And you're going to get physically sick, and then you're going to be out even longer because you didn't.
And then you're not good for anybody.
No.
You know?
Then you're really out, and then you're really going to feel bad and stuff.
Right.
And I think that makes a big difference because it hurts your immune system when you keep that level
of stress
all the time. And I think that's something I know at our chamber. When I started 4 years ago, we were in a crisis. And so now it's hard for me not to walk in every day in like that crisis mindset. It's like, Michelle, you need to calm down. The chamber's doing great. Like, but how do you switch that? Because you built a hospital from the ground up. And I'm sure those first few years probably felt like an emergency every day. And you're now, what, 14 years?
13
and a half. 13 and a half.
13.
So how many years did it take you to feel like, one, the hospital wasn't an emergency every second? And then how do you kind of change that mindset as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a mom, a dad, working,
You have to just really put it all in perspective. The first 2 years we were open, I was constantly worried about, do I have enough patients? Do we have enough volume? We kind of blew through all the projections very quickly in a couple of years.
Yes.
Now we're
handle it.
Well, and today we had 99 inpatients and we have 90 beds. So today, 13 years later, it's still like, okay, how do we do this? How do we manage this? But again, I do it surrounding myself with a really good team of people, and I make sure that we've got the tools that we need. We know our strengths. We know our weaknesses. We know, okay, when we have to surge, where are we going to do that? Who are we going to do that with? So you just balance it all the time. And you really just have to give yourself that mental moment that, okay, if I make a mistake right now, I can fix it. I can fix it and we can move on. We'll learn from it, because if we don't learn from mistakes, then we're not really growing as individuals or as professionals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what we try to do. We try to talk to our staff level employees. If you make a mistake, something going at home, you're busy, you're stressed, your children are sick, so talk to us. Let us know. How can we help you?
I think hiding is the worst thing you can do with a manager. Sometimes
it is.
Try to not tell them what's actually going on. And then you do find, you're like, I would have given you all the grace in the world had you just
talk to me.
I'm human too. I probably have lived through whatever that experience, or
I probably have.
Or know someone that had, that would have given you a ton of grace and would have given you, help someone support you on that shift.
And I think mentors are important.
Yes.
Because if you have a really strong mentor, you can bounce things off of them. You can say okay, I need to go do this today, but I'm worried about this. And they can help talk you through some very important things that you can internalize and go, okay, I'll go do this today. Tomorrow I won't do that. Or you just have to figure it out. And it's not easy. It is not easy to know the right answers, to know what if I mess up?
Right.
you're going to learn from it, and you just
Absolutely.
have to keep going. You really do.
Absolutely. What advice would you give young moms and dads that feel like they have to choose between ambition and being present with their kids?
Oh, that's a tough one too, because really and truly to me, the only way you can have it all is to be independently wealthy and own your own business.
Did you hear that? Coming from Mary Lynne Wright, president of Madison Hospital. The only way to have it all is to be independently wealthy. I say it all the time. I'm about to knock this mic over. Is you can't have it all. You just can't have it all at once.
Have it all.
You can't have it all at once.
And I would challenge anybody.
You have to choose what it is.
I would challenge any full-time working parent to tell me how you have it all.
Right.
Now, and we all work hard at trying to have it all. And then there are days you just think, this isn't working. I'm losing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing well. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at my children. I'm mad at my husband.
Yes.
I just don't think, and I don't think it's realistic.
And your house doesn't look like ChatGPT makes it either.
No, and I really don't care.
Your house is not going to look like Instagram. I actually had ChatGPT remodel my bedroom and make it look like an interior designer decorator. So I had him do that. I went and bought a new comforter, but guess what? The dresser, the nightstands are still the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to only have a lamp and a perfect clock and one little ornate thing. My husband has his Rubik's Cube and his chess book. And, that is our home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we can beat ourselves up that our home doesn't look like what a robot AI made for us.
Right.
That's also,
and what's better? What's better? To be comfortable.
Yes.
And to be very, very happy.
Yes.
Or to have the perfectly staged home.
Correct.
Mine was always be comfortable, be happy.
Yes.
If there's 10 girls over there spending the night swimming in the swimming pool, dripping wet when they come in my house, it did not bother me.
Right.
And it never has. And if you come in my house and you think that it's a mess, as my grandmother used to say, then why don't you clean it up for me?
Please. I'd be happy, and I wouldn't even complain.
No.
I'll hand you the broom,
mm-hmm.
Because I don't have time for that.
Because you cannot, personally, I don't think you can do it all.
You can't.
You just can't.
You can't. I've even timed myself, how long does it take for me to meal prep all the meals in a week? And then whether I do it every day or I try to get it done on the weekend, and we don't eat out, it is 4 to 5 hours of work, physical work, that chopping, cleaning, washing fruit, making the breakfast, making dinner, packing lunches. So you're either going to have to outsource that. You're either going to do some prepackaged food. Also eat at our wonderful local Madison restaurants. Right. I do great takeout all the time for my family. But you have to decide. You either can rest or you're going to meal prep for 4 to 5 hours on Sunday. That's how, I've literally timed it for several weeks in a row and see, can I even make this go fast? You can't.
No. And sometimes it's okay. Order the pizza. Order the pizza.
And your kids don't know. And they think it's magical. One night, I was so tired and I said, we're going to eat on towels in front of the television. And now it's their favorite night of the week. I called it beige dinner night. I made fish sticks, chicken fingers, French fries, and tater tots. And I made a joke to Adam. I was like, this is beige dinner night. Literally, when I'm like, girls, what do y'all want to eat? Their favorite meal of all the home cooked meals I make them, they'll be like, Mom, is beige dinner night on the menu this week? Beige dinner night. That is their request.
But the best thing is they didn't go to bed hungry.
They didn't.
They had time with their parents.
They did. And a calm mom, because she used the aluminum foil and she didn't even have to wash the pans. And you just stick it right back under the stove.
And why not? Why not?
Beige dinner night is a staple in my house.
But I can tell you, when your girls are grown and they look back on their childhood, they will say to you, Mom, it was great.
Yes.
Mom, I got to watch you do what you loved.
Yes.
And love us at the same time.
Yes.
And so then it's okay. Yes. You really do know it's okay then.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What's your go-to strategy for resetting? So you got that email from, whether it's a board member, whether it's someone that works high level on your team. You got this horrible review you saw on, I don't even know what the websites are where they review hospitals, but maybe it's on What's Happening in Huntsville or something. How do you go about resetting so you can stay motivated as a leader of 800 people? Everyone, I'm sure you walk down the hall and you see them straightening up and I mean, there she goes.
Yeah,
And I think that's hard when you're the leader.
It is
of it,
hard. It is
because
hard.
you're still Mary Lynne, right? You're still the Mary Lynne that's been by my side for the last 4 years, that's given me some great advice. But to your employees, I think sometimes it can be scary if you're now going to their department and maybe you've been busy the last few weeks and they haven't seen you in a few weeks or a month. Because
Well, I just got out. I sat through a class this afternoon because some things I'm like, if they're going to be expected to go, I need to go too. And it was funny. I walked in and everybody got quiet, and I said, "Oh, I see how this is going to go.
Yeah,
They're going to quit talking because I'm in here."
Yeah.
But I think really and truly to reset. If I do get one of those emails, if I do see something that is negative about the hospital, number one, nobody gets up and comes to work in that hospital intentionally planning to have a bad day or to do something wrong.
Correct.
Nobody does that.
Right.
And
you have some of the best staff.
we do. We have
really do.
wonderful employees and doctors and everybody, from the 5th floor to the basement. Fabulous people that care about our hospital.
And care about all the nurses. I love all the emails I got about Nurses Week and trying to get engaged and help show the love to you guys. I think that's so great, seeing that from within.
Right.
And it's just not coming from you. It's coming from
No,
your
it's
team.
from the community.
Yeah.
And we make sure if I get a letter or a card from somebody that's praising, we make sure we make a really big deal out of that. If I get a letter that's not so positive, that's my responsibility, and I take that and I deal with that. And I just think that we have to, for me, when I need to reset, re-engage, I shut my office door because I do better if I just have some time to be quiet, to think about things before I react, because that's the worst thing you can do.
Absolutely. I think that is the hardest thing as a leader. And I know one of my friends that didn't know what I did for a living. She just met me and we were at this competition and we were out to eat at, a restaurant. And she said, Michelle, every question I ask you, you pause before you respond. And Adam was like, well, she's had to learn how to do that because of her job. And they're like, oh, well, what do you do? 4 years ago, I would have just, answered quickly.
Right.
And I didn't even realize on my own time off that I now take a pause before I say anything. And this was just like 3 weeks ago, someone said this to me and I was like, Adam, do I really do this? He was like, oh yeah. You take a breath before you answer any question. And he's like, it's really changed in how you
and that's the smart thing to do,
Yeah.
because the last thing you want to do is react and say something you can't take back.
Well, and I have, and then I've had to backtrack, and you sometimes have to learn those lessons the hard way. You didn't mean to tell that person,
but it just came out.
And then it turns into a whole thing. And had you just taken a second and really thought, and I think
we have a tool that we use in the hospital called Take a Star Moment. It's stop, think, act, and review what you did. And that goes with conversations as well to me. The class I was just in today was about compassionate care.
Okay.
And it's talking about don't belittle patients. Don't tell them what you think they're thinking. Ask those questions that help them open up to you and think through things. But the worst thing you can do to say to a patient or an employee is, I hear you, I understand, I know what you're going through. No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't know what I'm going through.
You don't know my background. You don't. Yeah.
So let me tell you what I want you to know, and let me help you understand what's going on with me.
Well, and I think I can make a long-term impact. I know I lived at Huntsville Hospital on bed rest, and Valerie, who is the nurse practitioner for Dr. Carter, would come in every morning, and I was mad. I did not want to be on hospital bed rest. I felt like I'd gotten tricked. They told me to come in for a 24-hour urinalysis.
And there you were.
They didn't tell me I was never going home until the twins were born, which is traumatic. Like, we hadn't even painted the nursery, and Valerie came in every day and she didn't tell me how I felt. She just said, how's it going today, Michelle? And I let her have it every day. And she just smiled and she nodded. And then a year or two later, we launched the fundraiser for the antepartum patients because I was still so, but she listened. And I think that is a hard thing as a leader, is listening. It's almost like I sometimes have to sit on my hands. I'm like, Michelle, stop. How did you learn to be, because you're now been the leader of Madison Hospital for almost 13 and a half, 14 years.
14 years.
Listening. What are some tricks you do to kind of help people? Because I think that helps balance, too. You don't always have to be the one talking.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Paul Finley was on the interview panel for me when I was given this position. And he asked me, he said, what's the one God-given talent that you think is the most important thing for you to have in this job? And I said, to listen. Because if I can't listen, if I think I know all the answers, if I think I've got everything right, then I'm not the person that needs to be in this job. You have to listen. To me, it's the most important tool in your communication world, because just because I think I know the answers to everything, I probably don't. So I truly try to listen as much as I can, and I try really hard not to talk over people, and I try not to tell them what I think they need. I try to let them explain things to me, give me their opinions, their suggestions, and then we'll figure it out together. Because I always think I'm right, but usually I'm not. And
Right.
it's better off for me to be quiet and listen than it is to make people realize I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I have smart people that work at that hospital. I mean, they are the smartest, and I don't even remotely try to pretend like I know all the answers, because I just believe in surrounding yourself with really good,
Yes.
smart people, and that's how you succeed.
And I think that makes a difference. It's hard. Listening it's
Oh, it's very hard.
very hard.
Yes, it is. It
It's
is.
very hard. But I do think it helps with the balance too, because then you don't feel like you have to have all the
It's not
answers.
always you. It's not
You-
always on you.
It's not
Yeah.
always on
Yeah.
you. You don't have to solve. You just need to know how to bring the right people
Mhm. Yeah.
together, and then
It's about your team.
yes,
It is about your team.
yes. Now, what are some things you do for your team that helps keep that balance? I know we have Apple, so those are now you're gonna tell everybody who Apple is and everything, but some other things besides Apple that y'all do internally. We have a little kangaroo, and our
Mhm.
team hides it. And so when we need to take a break or reset, we literally go on a search for the hopping kangaroo to see who was the last person that hit it and see if we can find it in
Right.
the office.
Well, we do have Apple. Apple's our
Yes,
therapy dog
yes.
for not only patients, but for employees. During COVID, it was a very difficult time for us in healthcare. And I knew then that we needed to do something for our employees to help them just get out of the moment and relax. And so Apple came on board with us. She's been with us for 2 years now, and she is the best thing ever because she's there. She can diffuse your anger, your sadness, whatever's going on with you. So we have Apple. We try to have fun things for our employees. We will do Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics. We have an Apple Festival in the fall. We just did Employee Appreciation Week where we just have fun. And people look at me like, well, how do you have fun? You're in a hospital. You have to have some fun.
You do.
You have to
Yes.
do that. But that's what we try to do. We try to let people express their feelings. We have art shows. We have some very talented employees that are great artists. We let them bring their art in. We let them sell things if they want to their coworkers. We're going to have a movie night where we have a movie in the healing garden. So families can come in. The healing garden is, we have a labyrinth, so you can come and walk the labyrinth, and you can go sit outside and I tell every orientation class every other week, go outside. When you start working here, go outside, take a moment. It doesn't matter if it's
That's what I
5
love
minutes.
about our new office here is I actually bring my reef walking shoes, so when I'm not in heels, and I'll just walk a lap. And it's just so amazing how just walking a lap around this office.
It is. It's good for
It takes
you.
3 minutes. I
Yes.
timed it one day, and
Well, you're going to be better for yourself, but you're going to be better for the people that work with you.
Yes.
If you kind of get out of your head for a moment and just
see the
take
sunshine.
that. Yes, absolutely. And we encourage that. We do. Apple now has her own coffee cart that she takes around to the staff
I love
and
that.
serves coffee, and
Coffee just smells good. We have a new employee that started Monday, and she loves drinking coffee. And our office now smells like a coffee shop, and it's just making me so happy because I feel like I'm at Just Love Her Honest, just walking down our hallway because no one else on our team ever brewed coffee. I drink energy drinks. I drink coffee in the morning before I come, but now that she's brewing coffee all day, I'm like, oh, it's like we have
to do that.
we have a little coffee shop vibe going on in the office now, and that's so nice.
And that's what we try to do. We have a happy hour now. Our food services department, every afternoon from 2 to 5, they have a special drink and a special snack of some kind.
I love that.
So we do that. We just do anything we can to have fun because hospitals are not fun places. You come for 2 reasons: typically you come to have a baby,
Yes.
or you come to have cosmetic surgery to make you happy. You don't want to be in a hospital outside of that.
You don't.
And
You don't.
and
Even if you're going to have a baby like me, you don't always want to be in the
No,
hospital either.
that's
That
right.
was a very,
that is true.
it can be scary and sad and stressful.
Right.
It's
So
not
we
all
do
Instagram perfect either.
Right. And we do things for our employees to know that it's okay. It's okay to take a moment. We encourage our staff to recognize signs and symptoms in your coworkers. If they're struggling, go pat them on the back, go tell them, take a break. Let me go answer that call bell. You go just diffuse a little bit.
And what y'all see too. I mean,
It's hard.
my cousin's a pediatric critical care nurse in another state.
Mhm.
And she started a few years after I graduated. So about 20 years she's been doing that. And now she's at a hospital doing something completely different. And she's just when you're at that level of scary and stress, you don't realize sometimes how much that can impact you.
And you internalize all of it.
Yeah.
I can still remember most of the patients when I worked in surgery, or, that came in car wrecks that did not, survive. I can still remember most of them.
Well, and she would see my twins now being healthy, and she'd almost start crying when she'd come to visit. And I'm like, they're always like, they're like, what, and just
Sure.
you don't realize, she was just so excited they were like breathing on their own
Right,
in our
right.
house like they do every
Right,
day. But you
right.
take that for granted.
Well, you do. And healthcare is just hard. And the world, I don't mean to get on my soapbox, but the world we're living in right now is not nice.
It's not.
And people are
mean.
they're mean, they're snippy, they just think it's all about them. And they may forget that nurse may have a patient in the next room that's dying.
Yes, but they wanted their ice water.
Yes, and we have to help them. That's part of the compassionate class we had today. We have to try to give them some tools on what can they do to not get caught up in the anger of the moment.
And how do you diffuse that? I think it's very hard to learn because someone starts getting elevated and you raise your voice, they're going to raise theirs. And I think that's really
and you just kick the can,
Yeah.
You go yell at your tech, or you go yell at,
or
and we don't do that.
And you yell at your kids or
your dog or your husband, or yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions. Number one, what is, if Mary Lynne, so we also have a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a wonderful business community, whether you're a small business starting out all the way to someone like you that runs over 800 employees for a wonderful hospital. What is something that you want to impart on them that, is the Mary Lynne way, or just something that you do now that you wish you had done when you started back in? At 19.
A long time ago. I think it's first, be nice. Be nice.
Did you hear that? Be nice.
Because
we have a lot to celebrate in Madison.
We do. We absolutely do. And if we can't be nice to each other and kind to each other, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Because we all have our moments. We have good days, we have bad days, and you don't know what's going on in my personal life when we come to work. So be nice to each other. Accept the fact that you cannot do it all. And it's okay.
Did you hear that? It's okay. You can't do it all, moms and dads.
You just
moms. Did you hear that? It's okay.
And the sooner we all accept that, and the sooner we teach our children that you don't get everything that you want, you don't get the trophy for participating, I think the better off we all are. And that's what we try. We recognize our successes, but we also recognize when we're not successful, and that's life.
It is. And life isn't always fun.
No, it's not.
We had a weekend this past weekend where we literally just cleaned the house. And my kids are like, what do you mean we're not doing anything fun? We're not going anywhere fun? We're not going to a rush. Like, we're not. And I'm like, no.
That's life.
We're going out of town the next 3 weekends in a row and a week at the beach. This is our weekend to get
everything
and
done.
They couldn't comprehend it. They're like, what do you mean? I'm allowed to just play in the backyard? We're not going to the trash can again? We're not. I mean, I think, and that is the mindset these kids are growing up in, where like every day is. And
you have to have something to do. You have to go somewhere. And
I'm okay. You're bored.
And that's okay.
I'm okay.
Go create something to do.
You have a room full of toys. Go be bored. It's not going to hurt you.
It is not. And, parents are going to do what parents think is best for their children. And I understand that. But having raised children now and seeing the changes, I think they are overstimulated, and it is okay to say no. It is just okay to say no.
And
Yeah.
it's good for your whole family's mental health
Oh, it
sometimes
is.
to just
It is.
together in your home, but also enjoy the things we have in our community and celebrate the fun things and budget for those things. But, also, it's also okay for your kids to be bored.
But go for a walk.
Yeah.
You don't have to go spend money. Go for a walk.
Yeah,
Go.
or play soccer with our regulation size soccer net in our backyard,
And see,
Yeah.
they're just fine. They're just
They survived the weekend. They're like, I'm ready to go back to Gigi camp because that's fun. And I'm like, well, good.
Yeah.
Go see grandma. She'll spoil you on Monday.
That's what grandmothers are.
Yes. I'm okay being bored. The last question we're asking everybody, there's a ton of wonderful restaurants to eat at. So when Mary Lynne is having a great day, maybe you got an excellent review, or maybe it's one of those days that like you just got to get out of the hospital for a minute and you're going on your lunch break. What is your go-to restaurant comfort meal that you love that really helps you celebrate Madison and kind of reset and remind why you love Madison?
Okay, now there are a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
you hear this? There's a
There
lot.
are a lot.
Mary Lynne loves all the restaurants in Madison.
But I am going to tell you the one that is probably top of my list would be Main Street Cafe.
Main Street Cafe.
It's
What do
just,
you order at Main Street Cafe?
well, the strawberry pretzel salad, and they have a chicken salad that I love.
Love the chicken salad.
Yes. And to me, it's kind of like home.
You can get it in a wrap. Have you ever gotten the chicken
No,
salad? So, they do the
not.
fajita wraps.
Right.
I'll just ask for it in a wrap.
I did not know that. I
Uh-huh.
don't know that
Yeah.
because I don't take the time to go there enough.
Yeah, we can
That's
get it
good.
to go.
That's good to know.
Call it in. You can pay it over the phone and just drive in. They'll bring it
Yeah.
out to your car.
And the thing is, I've turned into one of those Madisonites that I live on the north side of town.
Right.
So I stay on the north side of town.
Yes.
So when I want to really venture out, I do like Main Street Cafe.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I love Lost Pizza.
We love Lost Pizza
Yes.
too. Scott
The
does a great job.
tamales.
Oh, those
Love the tamales.
Yes,
Yes.
the tamales.
Yeah.
Have you tried the taco pizza at Lost Pizza?
Yes, I have. I think we've tried all the pizzas now.
I do it on the
They're
cauliflower crust, and it is so good. So that's one of my go-to lunches because they're across.
Oh,
the
yeah. They're
street.
so close.
And then it's like no carb because you can do it on the cauliflower crust, taco pizza. You feel like you're getting both pizza and a taco. It's like a win-win.
Having fun at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Mary Lynne, thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
on the Madison Chamber podcast. Again, thank y'all for listening. Michelle Epling, president of the Madison Chamber. And Mary Lynne, thank you again for first all you do to keep us healthy in and around the city of Madison. And to your 800 plus employees, please know from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate all you do to keep us healthy so we can continue to grow the businesses.
And thank you for inviting me to come today. This has been fun.
This is fun. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And y'all remember, she said, see the hearts, be kind.